How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to be doing a fluid flush on the brake system. So all the brake fluid that we have in the old reservoir, so everything that's in the brake master cylinder, that's going to come out. We're going to use the same siphon pump that we used to take all the fluid out from the clutch master cylinder, just so we can get all the fluid out from the brake master cylinder. There's a certain way on doing this, and I will link the write-up that I followed in the description box down below. And I will also link the materials that you will need in the description box down below for you guys, so you guys can take a look at it. Pretty much all the stuff that you need to bleed the brakes is going to be a 10mm wrench, so you can undo the bleeder screw. And you need a little clear tube so you can see the fluid come out, so you see all the old fluid and the new fluid come out. And you're also going to need at least 2 bottles of Modal RBF 600. You can use any particular brake fluid that you want. In my case, I'm using Modal RBF 600. Just for this car, so when I take it to the track, I don't have to worry about a really low boiling point. Each RBF 600 comes with about 1 pint of fluid, so you need about 2 pints in order for you to do this. I still have a little bit left over from when I did the clutch job, so that's gonna benefit me just in case I use too much, and I might have a little bit left over. As I mentioned to you guys before in the other video, I was supposed to resurface the brakes and put them on the car. I already did that because we already kind of discussed on how to change the brakes on the S2000. So we don't have to worry about that for this video. I did all the hard work and got all of that out of the way first, so I can just strictly focus on just bleeding the brakes. And we're using the gravity method just like we did with the clutch. So hopefully we'll get the same results with a good, firm brake pedal. Now, there is a certain way on doing the gravity method with the S2000, and that is that you have to follow a particular sequence on where you gotta bleed the brakes from. To start, you have to do the right front, then move on to the left front, the left rear, and then lastly is the right rear. We're gonna have to start off by taking out all the old fluid out first. Okay, so we got the siphon pump ready to go. Here's the brake master cylinder right here in this area. I'm gonna take it off. You can see we got a little bit of a screen door thing right here. Just go ahead and take that off. And you can leave it here, set it to the side. Now we're going to start over here. As I mentioned before, we do have a clear plastic cup so you can drain all the fluid into. Now you won't be able to get everything. So that's one thing I will note. You won't be able to get anything, just mostly the main stuff that's in the middle. There's going to be some stuff that's stuck over here. That's normal. Don't worry about it. That'll flush out when you do the brake bleed. So same process as we did before. We are going to get the long end here. We are going to hold it there like so. Stick this end in all the way at the bottom now, and now go ahead and just let the fluid come right out. So I'm going to let it drain. It's not as dirty as the clutch master cylinder one, but it's still pretty dirty, and I'll show you guys once I'm done. As you can see, it is kind of dark. It's not really dirty per se, it's more of an amber color. But this is what happens when you use RBF 600 instead of like the regular stuff you can get at the store. As you can see, there's still some brake fluid left in the reservoir. It's just in this little area here. You can't really get to it without flushing it using the gravity method. Don't worry about it, that's perfectly normal. Know that when you do the gravity method, all the old fluid is gonna come out. So I got a fresh bottle of RBF 600. We're gonna fill it out to about the full line, and we're gonna leave this open, and then we're gonna go to the right side and crack it open. I have the brake master cylinder reservoir filled to the top. And right now, what the whole point of this is that fluid is pretty much the weight that's gonna be pushing the fluid out. So in the beginning, we're going to see a little bit of a dark color fluid, but maybe after about 5 minutes or so, the more amber, yellowish looking fluid is going to come out, and that's going to be the new fluid. So let's go ahead and start it. I have the clear plastic tube. This is what's going to be pretty much draining everything out, and you'll be able to see if there's any bubbles in the line. You want to make sure that whenever you're draining it, that you see all the dark fluid start to come out, and there's no bubbles in it, or if there's any bubbles, that's fine. But when the clear or more new or fresh fluid comes out, you want to make sure there's no bubbles whatsoever. So I have the 10 mil already attached. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and open this, and then it should just, all the fluid should just come out through right here, and it's going to empty out into the cup. Here we go. And just make sure that you twist it so it's facing down. See, as you can see, there it goes, slowly but surely. It'll go very slowly at first, but then eventually it'll come out normally. It's gonna be a little bit of drip at first, just like how we did with the clutch job. So as you see, there we go. I don't see any bubbles, so that's a good sign. So with the wrench out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for like about maybe like 2 minutes or so. And in the meantime, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm gonna keep an eye on the reservoir at the top and make sure that it's filled all the way with fluid. You do not want to make any of the fluid go all the way to the bottom. You want to have at least 3/4 of the way filled or more at all times, so you know that all the fluid is pushing this fluid out. This is what we're getting out now. I kind of drained all the dirty old fluid into this, and I used the clear cup as a really good way to see if the fluid in here is clear or clean. And this is pretty much clean. It doesn't look so much in here because of the lighting, but I checked under the light here in the shop or in the garage, and it's pretty much fresh. That's pretty much brand new fluid coming out, so we know that everything is good and ready to go when you see pretty much clear, nice and fresh fluid coming out. And you can kind of see, just my hand for reference, that it is indeed fresh fluid coming out now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drain this last bit here, and I'm gonna close up the valve and I'm gonna move to the next one. I wanted to give you guys an update of where everything's at with the driver's side, and as you can see, it's pretty much clear and clean fluid that's going in, or that's pretty much in the reservoir. I don't know if you can see a good angle there or not, but it is pretty much clear and clean all throughout there. Okay, I think we got everything done. I just finished doing the last brake, so I did the right rear. That was the very last one that you're supposed to do. It bled out pretty much the same way the other ones did. They were completely clear and clean. It was brand new fluid that was coming out. I checked everything at the end just to make sure, because I don't want to have any like dirty fluid in the lines. I think I got everything done. I think that's going to conclude the track series unless something else comes up. But other than having to take out like the spare tire and stuff, which is pretty much just common sense when you go to the track, you want to make sure that you have no tools and no spare tire in the back of the car. Just take all that stuff out and you should be okay. I think we covered pretty much everything for this particular track series. If you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Like I mentioned before, I have a list of all the stuff that I used for today's video in the description box, and also the link to the write-up that I followed from Billman. I'm going to leave that in the description box so you guys can check it out as well. That's going to be it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in the next video.